licensed OSU products. Now, here's your host, Tom Dirato.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to the Bob Simmons Show. This past Saturday night down in Austin, it turned out to be a real shootout again. And if you didn't care who won, it was a heck of a game to watch. Unfortunately, we cared who won, and it was tough to watch.
That's right. I think I had a friend of mine say it was a great TV game to watch, went down to the wire. But as you just said, we care who won, and obviously Texas won the ball game. A lot of good things happened in that ball game. We got down early, fought back, and really thought in the fourth quarter that the game would come our way, but it didn't.
That's all you asked for, is to get into the fourth quarter with a chance to win.
Well, that's what I said earlier. If we got down to the fourth quarter, that we'd have an opportunity to win. And, in fact, we did. We had an opportunity to drive, and our drive stalled, and we could have come up with a stop. But all those things play into a factor.
Wall-to-wall highlights coming up after this opening. Timeout. Welcome back to the show, Bob. It was soggy down in Austin, but a big-time atmosphere.
Oh, it was. It's a great place to play down there. The place was packed, and our kids. I thought our kids at the early part of that ball game was ready. You can see Texas had a lot of things going on for that ball game, but it was a good atmosphere to play in. I thought we came out ready to play early, and as you say, it was soggy on that grass. Our defense is on the field second, and as you can see from the grass, guys are slipping all over the place, but. What we got to do is really come under control, Tom. These 3rd and 3s, 3rd and 10s are situations where we got to come up with big plays. And you can find out we're out of position here, and it leads to a big play for Texas on their first drive. Again, it's 3rd and 8, and they come up and they throw the tight end, which we don't cover. And things like that, we really have to have more under control and be aware in terms of our defensive calls, what's going on. But we come back on offense, and we answered with our first play. A good play call here to Marcellus, and they were anticipating something else based on that formation. And you see Marcellus shows a lot of speed here.
I was going to say, he separated pretty well about midfield, didn't he?
Well, he did. They supposed to have some secondary guys that can really run. And as you can see on the wide copy, and on this copy, not too many people closing in on him.
No, Tony. Tony knew it was a touchdown.
Yeah, he did.
Huh?
He did all the way. That was a good play call and a good execution of that play.
You gave him a couple of different looks offensively.
Well, we went into that game and thought that if we could spread them out a little bit, if we can break our tendencies on first and third down, that based on what they were giving us, that we could come up with some big plays. And as you can see, during the course of the ball game, we did that.
That was a big answer drive right there.
Yeah,
got us right back in the game. And we're going to see this going back and forth like a tennis match. Everybody has the football seemingly in the first half. Scored. Yeah.
Well, you knew they came out and they're scrambling across, and this is just a bootleg pass where they throw to McGarity, who makes a big play, and this is their big back. He fumbled that ball.
You can see it here.
And again, we got to find a way to really come on top of some of these fumbles. But we know going in, that ball bounces right back to him. But our defense really had him under control for most of the night. And you can see he goes back in a passing situation. And again, this is the broken coverage where we should have had another guy on top, and just the execution. So we have not stopped them. They came out 2 drives and 2 touchdowns, and you go back with our offense, and that's a nice run by Nathan with the draw play. It's 3rd and 7 now. Thought we did a better job converting, but this is 3rd and 7 where Tony should have looked inside, but held the ball a little bit too long. And this is an early turnover, which really gives them a lot of momentum. They come back in with their offense, and they go right back up top. He scrambles, and it's a smart play on his part. He just dumps it off to a back, but takes him down to about the 10-yard line. And now what we want to do is force a field goal, but we don't. They run an inside play to Ricky there. Now it's 21-7. The game could have got out of control, but it's good to see this team hold a lot of poise. We come back, good run by Nathan outside. It's about a 16-yard run. So our offense come back, and we have to answer this score.
We're taking it back, and that's exactly what this team has done all year long. They seem to have answered every time they would challenge.
Well, that's important that your offense come out and do that, and this is good play action. That now we're throwing the ball a little bit deeper here in this particular ball game, and that's I think it's Ethan Howell who makes a real good throw and catch by Tony, makes one guy miss here. But those are kind of plays that we went in this ball game as we looked at their defensive backs and things that we thought we could do. Our offensive coaches did a real nice job of calling those plays. Big play to go back inside with the draw here, bounces outside, and holding on our part. But again, that's a call where we can't have in that situation. go to a third down swing here. I thought he was going to at least get a first down. We stay outside. We're able to do that. 3rd and 8. This is a big play here. You know, Marcellus normally comes up with those catches, but that's going to be a touchdown if he catches that ball. And we settle for a field goal. And I thought Tim Shidgis does a nice job of at least getting points on the board.
And again, continue to keep some scoreboard pressure on them, not let them run away and hide early.
Absolutely. And you saw it's 21-10 now, and they run a sweep here, and our defense do a nice job. We got 3 or 4 guys around Ricky, holding him in check. We try to get him started, but our defense did a nice job of getting off blocks, coming up. Nice job tackled by who's that? Alton Weaver, who knocks it back, and there's 3 other guys around him. That's the most important thing, and really trying to control that kind of back.
We talked about how balanced they were, much more this year than last year, and we saw that yesterday.
Yeah, and they come out with a trick play. Our defense did a nice job of coming up with this turnover. Nice interception by Ricky, and you know, that call right there probably should have been 30 yards, but the official said it was 15, but it really got the momentum going for us. We come back and run out to play with Tony, and he slips, but he picks up about 10 or 12, or about 7 or 8 yards. Come back. This is a nice run by Nathan down inside. I think it's about a 15-yard run, but our offense is doing a good job against their defense based on what we saw on film and what we wanted to execute. And I thought for the most part our offense did a nice job of executing the game plan. 3
or 4 times in the game against Texas, Nathan really adjusted a route and picked up yardage when it wasn't there inside.
Yeah, and this is 3rd and 9 here, and we're a little bit out of sync in terms of the call and the execution of the play. And see, when we get down there, we really try to come out with 7 points, but we settled for 3. And the most important thing is that we did come out with points on the board. It's 21-13 now, and we're still in this ball game. We've cut it down a little bit. We forced a throw here, which is in the ground, and it's important for our defense now to try to get themselves off the field in 3rd down situation. I think Tabor tipped this ball.
Did he show a little bit more patience and poise at quarterback than perhaps I gave him credit for during the week?
Who's that?
Yeah.
You know, he made some good throws. I think we need to get a little bit more pressure on him. He steps up in the pocket here. We got a guy hit him. But you know, when we get pressure on him, he's not as poised as he would be sitting back in the pocket. But this is the first time we've forced a punt, and he actually ended up shanking that punt, which gave us great field position. You know, we come out with a different look, and you know, this ball should be, he's got to stretch out. It's a touchdown. Not a bad throw by Tony. And now we go back inside. Nice catch here by Sean Love. Stays up. But the most important thing, he gets us the 1st down. He keeps that drive moving. And so, you know, from a game plan standpoint, we knew what they were going to do based on certain formations. And I thought our kids expected that and went out and really executed quite well.
Great job of holding on to the football. He took a pretty big pop right there.
Yes, he did. We go back inside with the draw, and I think that's Jamal. He does a nice same step, bounces out to the outside, takes that ball down to about the 18-yard line, and so the execution of our offense is real good right now.
And again, on the sideline, you didn't have any feeling, I know you didn't, even when it was 21-7, that you could not get back into it with the offense.
We just talked about remaining patient. They're giving us certain things. Let's call a good game plan. You know, a throw when they're supposed to run when we're supposed to throw, and we'll come back with a formation that really set this play up for us. And you can see Tony does a good job of getting in the end zone. Now it's 21-20. We decide to go for 2. We actually, after we called a timeout, came back with this formation, and now it's 21-21. It's a new game. We're in this thing all the way, and you know, we just got to settle in now and start playing football on both sides of the ball. They get the ball back here and a swing back pass to the big guy. That's a tough task for Raymond Cato to get out there and tackle Ricky because he's got good hands. But you can see they're trying to get him going in the running game, and our defense stiffen up, which didn't allow him to really have a great running day. But you know, here we've come up with a sack, which is needed at this point. Again, when you get pressure on him, he's not as poised as a guy that just have a lot of time to throw the ball. But we had to do that consistently all night. And here's a 3rd and 10.
Big play here.
Where we don't have as much pressure, and we leave the middle open, and they convert. And those are the things that we got to get better at getting ourselves off the field. It actually keeps the drive alive. And this is a big play where, you know, we got to make that tackle, and they turn a routine play into a touchdown, which they go up a score. But those are the type of things that we got to stop doing on defense.
That was basically Applewhite's mode of operation. You throw a 10-yard pass and let the guy run another 20 or 30.
And they have athletes that they can do that with, and they make a throw here out of bounds. It is third and 11, which they come back with a screen play, which we get fortunate to get a clip call. Guys are still hustling. They settle for a field goal here, and we go in at halftime, I think, 31-21. But my message to this football team is that we can move the ball. We're in this ball game. Let's go in and get our halftime adjustments and come back out and come back out and play the way we're capable of playing.
I know it sounds like a broken record every week. We say that's the halftime message. Yeah. We've been in the ball game at halftime.
At halftime, we've been in pretty much every ball game. Now it's a matter of just really come back out and executing and really not giving up big plays.
The second half, the pressure picked up a little bit, at least at the initial part of the third quarter on the quarterback.
I tell you, it did. I thought that we were a little bit more focused on defense. With 31 points, our kids came out and played the defense that we call. Didn't have as many gaps to throw into, and you see guys are breaking on the ball quite a bit better. This is 3rd and 8, and we really got to try to get a chance to get ourselves off the field here. But our coverage is a little bit too far off. Then we get a face mask call, which compounds it. They take it down to the 10-yard line, and they try to throw a boot pass. We tip it. We're in the right place here. Our defense came up with a big play. We didn't let them in the end zone. That's the most important thing. Now this is a good drive, 18-play drive. We go back inside to Marcellus with his good execution on the play here. We run an option play to the left side and pick up about 5 to 6 yards, and we come back with our fullback inside on a 3rd down play, and it gets close enough. I think it's 3rd and 1, where and plus we end up losing one of our best players in Adam Davis. But it's 4th and 1, and we decided to go for it at that point in time. It's early in the ball game, but we want to keep this drive going. Tony does a nice job of feeling his way inside and running the option play for about 7 yards, and we come back with a pass with a 5 route, and that's a nice, because he bobbled that ball and came back and caught it. Now we go back inside with Nathan, and he does a good job of breaking tackles, getting north and south. So our offense is really gelling now. We go back with reverse, this is set up all game, and a good call at that point in time. And what Richardson does is that he doesn't go out of bounds, he stays in bounds and get a 1st down. Then we run an option play to Nathan, and not much room, but he gets upfield and gets as much as he can. Then we come back and run the same play he saw us run earlier. Yeah. They wasn't stopping it all night, and we answered that score. I think that's a good 18-play drive. And that's what your offense has got to do.
94 yards, 6:18 off the clock, and in the third quarter, especially on that drive, we got Tony to the edge a little bit more, did we?
Well, we did. Like I said, we came out with a formation that really set up what we wanted to do, and you can see they're back on offense. They're trying to get Ricky started, and our guys won't let him get started here in terms of tackling him. Here's a draw. And, we got 3 and 4 guys around the pile, and he's trying to make a cut. And there's Ricky Thompson, who had a heck of a ball game. And he's a load to bring down by himself, but he does a good job there. 3rd and 13 here. We're trying to get ourselves off the field and make a throw. Just come up with a tackle. We did. We kept them short of the sticks, which is the most important thing. And I think they came out and
into the fourth
going
quarter.
To the fourth quarter and kicked a field goal here, which their guy did a pretty good job. That was a long field goal, about 45 yards, to make it 34 to 28. But it's still anybody's ballgame as far as we're concerned going to this 4th quarter. This is a nice throw to Marcellus. And listen, he called it at 5. He bulled his way to a first down, which is a great run on his part. We come back to him, and the guys were watching us, and a good tip ball. And Howell shows a lot of speed here. Got in the end zone. He's got to show a little bit more poise once he gets in the end zone. He's got to learn that. Once he scores, he celebrates with his teammate, not himself. But this is we practice that. Let's tip it over the top.
Tip drill.
Tip over the top. You be there and go for a touchdown.
And you had it well timed, didn't you?
Very well timed.
You could have heard a pin drop in the stadium after this touchdown.
I tell you what, because they know it's anybody's ball game here. And to me, that this extra point now is very critical. It's one where it's going to put us up 30. It's going to give us the lead, 35, 34, and the execution of, I think it's just, is that we don't block well up front. And now instead of us being up 35, 34, it's 34 all, and it's a whole different mental process. But we're in this ball game, and I think this may be I don't know if it's their last drive. This is one of their longest plays, and a great back will answer you and this is one of his longest plays all night, and we had held him in check. It's 3rd and 3 here, and they sprint out, and again, our guys are slipping down, but they came up with key 3rd downs to keep this play alive. And now our offense, the defense did a good job. 3rd and 2, they sprint out. I thought this was a big call. He throws out of bounds. Our kids plays what I think is good coverage.
You'll see it again.
But in the eye of any official, they say pass interference is judgment. I mean, that's like
could have gone either way.
Could have gone either way. Should not have made a call, but they take it halfway down to where it puts him in a great field goal. Instead of having a long field goal, he's got a short one. We really try to ice him in this situation. It almost worked. As he kicks the ball, he almost kicked it across the goal because that was a tough angle. He makes it, and tough ball game. Tough ball game for us. But we had an opportunity to win that ball game, regardless of what official and what call was made, and it comes back to us completing ball games and just executing down the stretch.
That bang off the post, that really summed up what went on this year. Close again, didn't it?
Well, I don't look at it that way. The bang off the post was the bang off the post. We had an opportunity to win the game in the course of that ball game had we did some things better.
Well, they truly are OSU's road warriors, and we'll explain on this week's 2-Minute Drill.
The 2-Minute Drill, brought to you by Tartan Golf and Gear. If it has your logo on it, we do it.
When Willie Nelson came out with that on the road again, he must have had Oklahoma State equipment manager T.J. Bro in mind. 6 times over the first 9 games this season, T.J. and his staff have literally been on the move. You might say they're truly road tested.
My guys made a few comments after the first 5 of the 6 games on the road. When we came home for that one weekend, I heard a couple of the guys saying, "Hey, I've never been so happy to hear our band in the stands." So I think we're kind of road tested for 1998.
You've always told me you try to make that visiting locker room look as much like the home locker room as possible. Explain.
Well, at home, we try to be uniform as far as how we set things up. We'll put the helmet here, the jersey, the pants, the bag here. So when the guys come in, everything's laid out in front of them. They can sit down and get dressed and not have to search for everything. So they can really sit down, get dressed, and focus in on the game.
I know you've always had some kind words for the staff that you've had over the years. These are hard-working young guys.
That's correct, Tom. These guys to me, are really dedicated, and they work real hard. A lot of long, sometimes strenuous hours. Really dedicated to the job and to Oklahoma State University and to Oklahoma State football, I might add. We all want to win just as bad as the players, and when we lose, we feel like sometimes we get in the dumps about it, but hey, the sun's coming up tomorrow, so we're going to bounce back and get after it again the next day.
What would you say the bottom line is in your job? Like everybody else's, be flexible, be able to roll with the flow?
We have to be like the Marines. I saw it in a major motion picture one time. You have to be like a Marine. You have to adapt and overcome. And that's what we have to do as equipment managers.
Adapt and overcome. His staff does do a good job, and he's right. They spend a lot of time, not only on the road, but when they're here after hours. T.J. and his staff are greatly appreciated.
Well, the game within the game and our Ask Bob Simmons segment, they're both straight ahead. Don't go away. Welcome back to the show. It's time for our Game Within the Game, brought to you by American Residential Group, and this graphic will tell it all, Bob, right here.
Yeah, 4 losses to nationally ranked teams, Tom, at an average of 7 points. What we got to do is this is a tough conference. We had to find a way to turn those averages around where those 7 points really favor us.
Well, this week's question from oakstate.com for Bob Simmons is presented by Southwestern Bell, and it has to do with practice regimen at this time of the year.
Yeah, what we do during this time of the year is because of the time change, lateness in the season, is that we shorten practice.
If you have a question for Bob Simmons that you want answered on the show, log on to Oklahoma State's official athletic website at oakstate.com and participate in the Southwestern Bell Ask Coach Bob Simmons contest. 2 big games still left on the docket.
Yeah, it is, Tom. 2 games at home. We're not in the bowl picture, but we want to finish strong and finish with a flurry and really take this thing into next season. And so it's important that our fans continue to support us, that we do have a good program. Come out, let's have some fun. Let's send this team out strongly these last 2 ball games.
That sounds great to us. That's all the time we have for this week's show. For Bob Simmons, our entire crew here at Educational Television Services, Tom Dirato. Goodbye, everybody.
The Bob Simmons Show has been brought to you by the Johnson Auto Family, just a short drive from high prices. Johnson's Auto Family, Kingfisher, Chickasha, Enid, and Stillwater. By Phillips 66, the Performance Company. By Southwestern Bell, the exclusive communication